Next guest, I told you about Restaurant Impossible, but he knows a thing or two about running a successful business. He's got, Fresh Kitchen by Robert Irvine, two of those, two locations, one with the Pentagon. Oh, yeah, that. And the other at Joint Base Andrews, places that both Brad and I have been to. He also created Victory Fresh, a healthy grab-and-go concept restaurant for the U.S. Army at Fort Jackson. He's the owner or co-owner of several other companies, including Terra Armor, makers of luxurious, hard-to-use clothing, Robert Irvine's Foods, which makes prepared restaurant-quality dishes available in grocery stores and provides food service to military bases worldwide, and the Lansdale, Pennsylvania-based Boardroom Spirits, creators of handcrafted rum and whiskey, as well as his own signature Irvine Spirits line of vodka and American dry gin. And that is only the beginning, because so much of what he does gives back to servicemen, servicewomen, first responders. He is a fundraising farrago, is the best way to kind of describe him. I mean, he is ubiquitous everywhere all at once, and he's got a new project, by the way. What? Like I said, I could go on, and 20 minutes later, I've been like, well, Robert, it's been nice talking to you. Welcome to the show, Chef Irvine. How are you, sir?
Hey, listen, Road Gang Radio. Yes, baby, I'm here.
It is so good to have you, and I just want to we're going to do what we call in the military they call it mass tack, in fiction writing they call it en media res. We're just going to drop right in the middle of the action here and tell me about, let's chew the fat on Let's Chow. Let's just jump right into it, my friend.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a chef by trade, right? A couple of years ago I got to meet Jordan Foley, a lieutenant commander, JAG officer, still active duty. He's on the Hill right now, but he was telling me about Let's Chow. I'd already been doing DAB entrepreneur programs the last couple of years because they're in a great group of people. And I asked Jordan, okay, how do we take this bigger so we give more veterans jobs? So we took it under the Robert Irvine Foundation umbrella. And last year we give 55,000 hours of schooling to veterans. We have 8, 9, 10 trucks around the country right now. Another 2 just being ordered. That's how we got into Let's Chow. Jordan Foley was the vision. He did all the hard work. And I just came in with some money and some cooking chops. And here we are. Let's Chow is part of the Robert Irvine Foundation, which is one of the programs that we run worldwide.
And the follow-up to that is, like I say, we go to the micro to go to the macro. Now let's kind of expand into the foundation as well. I kind of withheld that as part of the bio because I like you to talk about it, because if I keep talking about you, it's going to be about me talking about you rather than you talking about you. So tell us about the broad efforts of the foundation. What the foundation, when it makes a decision to partner with Let's Chow, how it makes those decisions, and what its overall mission is.
Well, first of all, I don't like talking about me either. So the foundation was formed in 2014 because I worked with Gary Sinise, another great patriot, for years, actually 16 years, doing Invincible Spirit festivals around the hospitals during the height of the war and the Afghan-Iraq war, obviously. And I decided that we can do more. While Gary was building houses, I wanted to go more into the mental and physical health, physically fit as I am. And I felt there was a market for that help that was slipping through the government help. So we started the foundation in 2014, and we take care of PTS. We have a Reuniting the Brave, which is putting units back together after 20, 30 years with the Gold-style families. Breaking Bread with Heroes twice a week somewhere around the world. Between 300 and 3,000 people get fed by us every week, which is kind of exciting. I get to jet off and be in the middle of some not so nice places and some pretty places. We do financial aid. We do scholarships. We purchase wheelchairs and mobile devices, meaning mobility devices, I should say, meaning bikes. My whole goal is really to get veterans out of the 4 wars, back into the tribe mentality. You know, when you leave the service, you lose a piece of yourself because it's always been service above self. And that's what the foundation does. We've just literally, June the 11th, 3rd to the 11th, we just took 65 veterans, 15 from each branch, to Scotland for a 54-mile march with 1,300 coalition. Everybody did the march. changed lives, it's saved lives. So for me, the foundation is all about helping food insecurity, helping you get a job, teaching you what you don't know from the military, which is very little, by the way, I will say, because the military teaches so many amazing things, leadership being the biggest one, obviously, and doing things that really count. Now we're looking at children's programs for active duty men and women and firefighters, and first responders. So that continues to grow as that's my passion. People say, oh, food is your passion. No, not really. Food is a vehicle. Food gets me to the passion, which is the men and women that wear the cloth of our nation and our first responders. And I have to say, I was at Swick Boat 20 and SEAL Team 4 a couple of weeks ago, and yesterday we lost one of Swick Boat 20's finest. So my heart and prayers go out to Swick Boat 20 and the team guys out there. So that's what we do. We take care of people.
I kind of wanted, I'm going to say something and tell me if I get this right. It sounds to me as if you've just said that the real passion is providing for others and making sure that these men and women get the help that they need. Your skill at being able to create food is the vehicle that allows you access to them. And so that is really the kind of thing, is to make the food and to make all the stuff around the food as good as possible, because that's the entry point. You have a double connection here. One, you satisfy their stomachs, but you are emotionally connected because you yourself are a veteran as well. And that's the entree to allow you to service these people who have actually engaged in the highest form of service. How'd I do?
It's bang, spot on. I mean, 14 years I've been traveling with the U.S., well, actually longer, almost 20, with the U.S. military. I've been a citizen for 22 years. Seen what they go through from Afghanistan to Iraq 18 times plus each. Korea, Syria, you name it. I've been every base we have, every warship we have, most submarines. And for me, I think it's time that we, the American people, get behind our military. And I see it for the first time, and I hear it really loud the last year. And there's pride come back into the military. And that's not political. That's just the way it is. We're undergoing right now a modernization feeding platform with the Army, which they'd pay me zero, and it's the best paycheck I've ever got in my life, because it's doing something that's making a change since 1940 and making it better for the men and women from the resiliency standpoint, recruitment standpoint, a retention standpoint, and just a nutritious standpoint. That's my game. I'm not the best chef in the world, never presumed to be. There are many better than me, but nobody can do what I do. I can drop into Afghanistan, Iraq, and feed 30,000 people from nothing. That's the show Dinner Impossible. But it's really, as you nailed it on the head, the food is the vehicle to get to me, to those passionate things, which are the men and women that I spend 150 days a year around the globe with those women. I just come back, men and women, I should say. I just come back from Tromsø with the Marines, which is 3 hours north of the Arctic Circle. Don't ever want to go there again, by the way, but minus 5 degrees and 5 foot of snow every day. But this is what our men and women do every day, whether it's in Nordstrom, whether bases, nuclear bases, Space Force. They have a job, and I don't think the American people understand, except the other veteran services organizations that do, that these are 19-year-old kids that no Fortune 500 company would let do what they do. And yet they're not old enough to drink beer, but they can put a nuclear propulsion system in a hole in the ground, and a DOD expert comes and puts a nuclear warhead on it. Driving a truck, it's the only job in the military that you can call out sick if you argue with your wife or your spouse. So it's just interesting to me that food is the pivotal thing in everything we do. Yes, we have to eat. Army marches on its stomach, but we also eat for enjoyment, and that's something we've lost in our military that I'm trying to bring back. I got to tell you, our leadership right now of our military is really good. It's in good hands. Randy George, Dan Kane, Mike Weimer, all these guys, Admiral Caudle has just been put up for CNO. They care about the human capital instead of just the machines.
Yeah, and that makes such a big difference, Chef Irvine. And I also, on a side note, I want to tell you my good friend, my producer over here, Andre, who is such a big fan of food and fitness and the combination of the two. Actually, when he found out you were coming on, did a deep dive. I want to recommend to remember, a lot of the people who are listening this morning are over-the-road truck drivers. Many of them are veterans. And I'm going to actually do a plug for your book, Fit Fuel, which is one of his books, is great. If you haven't got a chance to look at it, Dre, you should dig into that as well, too, dude, because that is part of the game here. And I wanted to kind of pivot here because we all know that the better the food is, and I don't mean the better tasting it is, but the better it is health-wise as well. It keeps the mind clear. It can actually help people fight off depression, that proper eating habits, not alone, but can be part of a diet of lifestyle that actually provides people a way out of PTSD, that the camaraderie of eating together, and all of this stuff is kind of wrapped up in your foundational work, but also in kind of your own personal individual work as well. There's a real connection between the mind and the body, particularly in getting well with the kind of food that we eat, and you're focused not just on it tasting good, but it actually having an impact in improving the spirits and the physicality of the men and women who consume it, correct?
Totally, and I want to kind of jump in here with the truck drivers because I am a truck driver nut. During COVID, we had 4 buses. We filmed 63 episodes of The Restaurant Impossible, and we stopped at every truck stop up and down the country. And I am a truck fanatic, so to all the truckers, you got a huge fan, Robert Irvine. A lot of people that follow me know that. I am just nuts about trucks. I don't know why. It's a young kid Irvine thing, but yeah, I care about the environment in which you're fed. I care about what you're being fed, and I do care about, and I just brought this up last week actually, it's not just the food, because we're creating barracks and places for people to cook on their own now. I disagree with that completely. I want you in a facility, and I don't mean the way the diner facilities are now, they're like prisons. I want you to come into a place and me sit opposite you and have a conversation and know that you have an issue in your life, whether it's your parents, your son, your daughter. I, as a teammate, will know that by sitting down with a meal for you. And I think that's a bigger part of, yes, it's nutritious. Yes, it's delicious. You're doing it in a great place. It's comfortable. And, you know, our military is not meant for comfort, although I feel it should be. You know, why should we go to a restaurant and enjoy great food? But these men and women that work at the Cluster Nation, no matter who they are, what they do, DOD civilians, our first responders, they're doing a job every day like an athlete would on a team, whether you're a football player, you're a track runner. And my biggest thing is to make sure that they get the tools they need to do their job. I don't care what that is. If I was to give you one rifle and one bullet and say, "Oh, go and take over that hill over there," you'd probably get one shot. Then you club a couple of people with the butt of a rifle. Then what? So my job is to make sure that I work with the senior leadership to look at the evolution of food. In other words, the science behind food. The food can taste good. We can buy pre-made things and finish them. We don't have to have, peel potatoes and chop onions every day because we don't have the manpower for that anymore. I mean, nobody wants to be a cook with and again, not getting political, with borders closed and farmers not doing what they're doing and hospitality having the trouble. We've got to look at better ways to serve thousands of people. And all you got to do is look at a cruise ship and how they do it. They feed way more than we do on an aircraft carrier, 10 times as much. So if they can do it successfully and clean and safe, then we should be able to do the same thing. We have some amazing cooks in the military across all branches. I just don't think we give them the tools or we give them long enough training to be able to change things if something goes awry. Meaning, we don't get chicken in the field. We get cabbage, right? All of a sudden, I've got to change the menu to do something with cabbage. Some people can do that. Other people can't. So I look at this job that I have, which is It's a gratuitous service agreement with my foundation to the Army. I get paid nothing. And I love it. It's the best job I've ever had in the world because it's not a job. It's a passion of mine to make sure that future generations have great food.
It's not just a job, it's an adventure. Brad Bentley, who's the president of Fastport, who actually was so behind the scenes instrumental in getting you to join us, has a question for you. Go ahead, Brad.
So you mentioned the culinary skills. A lot of people have those MOSs in the military. I'm curious how you have gone through the vetting process for your Let's Chow program. Picking the cities, first of all, is it a concentration of where people are transitioning out of the military in a community like a San Diego, for example? I know that's one of the areas. And I'll just throw it out there. We live in New Orleans. There's 15,000 veterans here, huge foodie city. So what would the process be if you looked at a location like this to try to find those?
Yeah, we want you to
sets?
come to New Orleans. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get your butt down.
I was just there with the Medal of Honor not so long ago. So for me, there's a group of people that look. So when a veteran actually applies, they've already gone through a screening. So you apply and say, Robert Irvine wants a food truck. Okay, why do you want a food truck? How do you want a food truck? What is it going to be is it coffee? Is it tacos? What is it? Once we decide it's your truck, and that's very quick, by the way. I mean, I just literally got 2 in the last 2 weeks. We'll retrofit that. That means a food truck costs about $100,000, right? And that's for real, to wrap it, to make sure it's insured, to make sure that you've got everything you need in that food truck to make a real living, right? Because there's food trucks out there that shouldn't even be on the road. So that's number one. Then we wrap it based on, Robert's Roadhouse, whatever it's going to be called. We then send you to school while we get the truck fixed, to go through not the cooking skill, but the technical skill of running a business. How do you price things out? How do you your fuel costs, your labor costs, all those things that come in that you see on the TV show with me on Restaurant Impossible. When I feel you're good enough, ready enough, I should say, not good enough, you're already good enough, ready enough to go on the road, then we put you on the road no matter where it is. So if you live in San Diego, I've got some in San Diego, I've got Atlantic City. We put them all over the place, and there's a whole list on the website. But I'm not worried where they are. We just gave a Marine one literally last year. I've just got the money for 2 more, so now we're looking for those people who are looking to get into the culinary business. Now, here's the best thing: if you run that food truck and do it so well, I find space for you to run a brick and mortar if that's what you want to do. It's really up to you when you feel comfortable making that money. And by the way, we take minimal, and I mean, minimal. We take a rent and we take the insurance. I don't take any of your money. And then we put that back into the truck when you're finished to refurbish the truck, to get it ready for somebody else. And if we need a new fryer or we need new wheels or we need, all those kind of things, it goes back into the program. It's about making veterans successful in whatever area they want to go into. We're working with Erie and the governor of Pennsylvania right now on a collegiate space that's out in Erie, Pennsylvania, that's vacant, that Mellon Carnegie family bought. How do we turn that into a culinary school, a computer school for veterans, right? And a lot more than that. I'm just using those 2. So it's really about, just like all these other big organizations, we want to be the best in class at what we do. We partner with Elizabeth Dole for Face the Fight, which is the PTS, which is a huge program for us. And at every event, one of our veterans talks about that, and we hand out materials. The same with TAP's family and things like that. We support other. I was just at Camp Southern Grounds. Zach Brown's making a meal for a ruck. So it's all about together we do better. It's not about me against the world and everybody else in the service organizations. It's we do something different than somebody else does. And if we can help them reach their mission or achieve their mission, then we all win.
By the way, in case you guys are just joining us, Chef Robert Irvine joins us this morning. You can find him at chefirvine.com, over on the gram of Insta at Chef Irvine, and of course at Instagram, also on the Robert Irvine Foundation. We're glad to have you. Brad's got a follow-up.
First of all, thank you for mentioning the Elizabeth Dole Foundation. That holds a special place in my heart. My daughter Megan was their events coordinator and up until just a couple of years ago. So they do some tremendous work for caregivers out there, and it just proves the point as we're talking about Chef Irvine, all the different connectivity he has in the veteran space. I want to mention this for my company, though. Fastport does a lot of placing veterans into registered apprenticeship programs, and I think the way you described Let's Chow, it seems that we work with employers to define the length of an apprenticeship. Yours seems to be competency-based. When you feel like that veteran is at the level, the culinary level and the business level, that's when the business would actually start with the food truck and then move on to the brick and mortar, correct?
Yes. And it's funny, I'll give you another extension of what we do. A couple of months ago, the National Guard has what they call a training camp, 22-week training camp. National Guard Challenge is called. In Puerto Rico, we graduated 250 16 to 18-year-old kids. Now, some of those kids were in bad neighborhoods. Some of those kids were selling drugs. Some of those kids were 16 years old that got their parents to sign a waiver then to go to a 22-week program. It cost $7 million, by the way. And these are kids that nobody, and I went to see the parents, I went to see the houses. I understand why Hughes gets into what they get into, because they have to eat, they have to, live, et cetera, et cetera. I don't agree with it, but that's why they do it. I've seen it firsthand. But what impressed me so much, 22 weeks in this academy, by the way, all got a GED. None of them kids would have got a GED because they weren't going to school. And we promised, the National Guard promises within a year, it's the best program in the United States that we're doing more with again this year, is putting young kids that have come from a low-income family, have to do what they've got to do. And I'm talking about a 700-square-foot room or home that's jerry-rigged to the electric main with an extension cord, and 16 people living in it because that's the way they live. We graduated these kids with a 4.0 average, 30 of them out of 250. That to me is exciting, because if we can do it in the private sector, then we can do it in the public sector. That means the government can get more involved and give more money. It could be a pipeline to doctors, lawyers, firefighters, servicemen and women. But somebody has to believe, and you know what they say, you have no experience. Well, this is the mental thing that I deal with. I don't care about your piece of paper. I don't care if you went to Harvard. I care, do you click and you're cohesive with a team? That's a special operations trait. We don't care where you come from, but are you a team player and can you get stuff done? And I will tell you, I've got some great people on our team. Joanna Bass, the Chief of Air Force, Senior Enlisted. I've got CZ Lopez, Senior Enlisted to the Chairman of Joint Chiefs, and lots of others that see the vision that I see of not only feeding people and changing, that's my world of get stuff done, but also how do we take young kids and put them back on the path of success? Because I'm one of them kids. I joined the military early. You mentioned it in your opening. I had to live under a bridge for a while when my mom and dad got divorced. I know what poor is. I know what dumpster diving is. I know what cold is. You've got to be able to have somebody help you out of that. And I think that's what that driven purpose for me is. How do we help as many people, not just restaurants? I work with DAV on companies that are started by veterans, some of which, by the way, are $50 million already, and how to scale them, and some of which are just starting, with baked goods. So for me, it's about giving a hand up, not a hand out.
Let me just we have to wrap this up. Unbelievably, the time has just flown by. I wanted to ask you a personal question. You're a man who considers your own personal fitness part of who you are. Can you just really briefly, about 30 seconds here, Chef Irvine, to tell people how it is you manage to maintain your health despite the wild farrago of a life you have, jumping all over the place, helping people make their dreams come true? How do you manage to stay fit through all of this?
Every day, 45 minutes of some type of cardio. Then I lift one body part, meaning arms, legs, whatever. Four exercises, 4 sets through. Never heavy because I'm 60 years old. I don't need heavy and look pretty anymore. But I'm working with a lot of special operations guys, and I got to keep up with them. So for me, fitness is a must.
Yeah, I've kind of focused.
It gives me that escape.
Yeah, I've kind of focused on cardio myself because keeping up is more important than actually having to lift the heavy stuff anymore. We can't thank you enough. Brad's got one more thing for you.
I'll follow up with you. Would love to see Let's Chow come to New Orleans. Let's try to get a food truck down here. Thank you for everything you do for our veterans. Shout out to Jo Bass, too. She is a force of nature doing great work as an ambassador for Hiring Our Heroes, which is where we first met. So thank you so much for being on the air, Chef Irvine.
I look forward to receiving any information, and we're here to help.
What a great place to end it, by the way. We are here to help. We are here to help at Road Gang Radio as well. Please go to chefirvine.com. Go to Instagram, where you can find him there as Chef Irvine, or the Robert Irvine Foundation over on Instagram. Lots of great content.